Hello, 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 hello. 92.6 family. We are back at it. NRNW, not right, not wrong. Every single Friday of the year, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on 92.6, The Spot. Along with the plethora of other podcasts that we got on there with those hosts who are as equally talented. Speaking of talent, I have my co-host here with me. Let me start with the queen of the team, D1. D1, what's happening with you? How are you this fine day?
Hello, brothers, from the queen of the team. I kind of like that. I'll take that one.
Yeah,
I'll
take it.
take it.
Take it.
New Monica, queen of the team.
A new Monica, queen of the team. I'm here for it. Yes, BX in the house. If it wasn't for the Bronx, there we go. Somewhere in there.
Already.
I'm with that. Actually, I was doing that for Wakanda, but I'll go with the X.
Oh. What kind is this though?
It is?
Yeah, what kind is
Okay.
this?
I knew that.
Come on now. Keep that black heart in effect, please.
For sure.
But I'm good. I'm happy to see you, bro. Both good to be here. Another week, another ep, more laughs, more deep thought. I'm here for it.
Let's do it. JJ King Ja is in attendance and in the building and present.
Yes, sir. You're already.
King Ja, what's happening with you, man? What's the word on the street? What's swirling in that head of yours, man? Let's hear something.
Everything is still above sea level. You dig me? Everything copacetic, man. Everything copacetic. Everything I read.
Yes. Enough
Yeah,
respect.
man.
Enough respect.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Good to see you both.
All
Listen, my name is Dark Mark. As you already know, that's Dark with a C, Mark with a C. Every single episode, I have a different name. As of this one, it is If Only You Knew That Dark Does Too. You don't need to know what it is that I know, but just know that I know. So we're going to continue on. And for those of you that have been following, those of you that have subscribed, those of you that will subscribe, those of you that know someone that wants to subscribe, just go ahead and click that button. You can catch us everywhere you could think of podcasts. We're on it. Get with it. Join us. Get down with the team. So you know how the format goes. Whoever hosts and starts it off is the person who picked the topic. So I've picked the topic today, and it's about strikes. People striking, what's going on with people striking, what are they angry about, what it is that they want, what it is they want just for that particular job. Is it something across the entire nation? But as of late, for those of you that may even avoid the news, or those of you that watch it religiously, you know a lot of people are striking. You can't avoid it. You're going to see it. You're going to hear about it. It may be someone in your family that this strike affects, or some distant cousin or relative. So we're going to dive into that, figure what's going on with us, or have we ever been part of a strike? What is it that we would strike for? What exactly constitutes a strike? Or is this just for the American dream or lack thereof? Or does the American dream even exist? Because for so many years and a long time, that's supposed to be the thing we're supposed to strive for. White House picket fence, dog, 2.5 kids, why all that? I won't say BS because then I'll be biased, right? But we're going to touch on all those things. So the first thing I want to do, I want to touch off with the definition of what a strike is. So a strike is a refusal to work organized by a body of employees as a form of protest, typically in an attempt to gain concession or concessions from their employer. So the first strike that I thought about that came to mind is in regards to the SAG after strike and the Workers Guild, the Writers Guild of America, sorry, strike. So from what I understand right now, the Writers Guild of America has reached a tentative deal and they are no longer striking. However, the SAG after strike is still going on. So for those that don't know, that stands for Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. So that strike is still going on. In addition to that, the United Auto Workers are striking. So this is affecting a lot of plans. I'm not sure how many plans, but the plan is as the strike continues on, they're supposed to start striking per plant as it continue on, and whatever it is, concessions they want are not met. So basically, it's supposed to get bigger and bigger. UPS just recently went on strike. From what I understand, they got a great deal for their drivers. The strike didn't last long at all. And they reached a deal. And prior to that, a couple of months back, I believe the motormen was supposed to go on strike, not necessarily for transit, but these guys that do long haul across the country, things of that nature. So to sum it up, a lot of people are striking. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are angry. I'm sure one of the main things has to do with money, because a lot of things that come up, if you have a CEO of your company that gets raises from 20%, 30%, or even 40%, and they're making probably 30, 40, 50 times more than you make, and you doing double and triple overtime just to feed your family, that definitely may be a problem with you. So let's just say he makes $40 million a year. You make $45,000 a year. You may have the potential to make 50,000, but the raise you get is 3%. Then the next raise you may get is 5%. Then the next raise may be 7%. And this is spread out over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So there's a lot of things that people are coming to the table with, people may be upset about, and people have families, people have needs, people have things that they need to do. So let me speak to my co-host. I'm gonna start off with one of the questions. This is something that just came to mind in regards to that. So we're gonna start with you, D1, since you're the queen. Let's go to you first. So you could just throw any number out. What if there could be a national minimum wage? Should it be, or should it just be left to the states?
I think that's a really good question. I think that there should be a national minimum wage, but it probably, instead of being a number, would be like a percentage, because some of the states have different cost of living, and so you might pay less for your residence or your home, or less in rent, kind of things like that. So but I think whatever the percentage, so maybe there should be a nationwide percentage. Like, how would you figure out that percentage? I don't know. Maybe you would average out the cost of living for like whatever a traditional family of 4 is, or whatever, and kind of base it on that. I don't know. But it would take into account like things like utilities, accommodations, food, things like that. And everybody should be able to afford and I don't even mean basic accommodations, right? Because sometimes what politicians decide is basic is underwhelming.
Very true.
And is like poverty stricken. That I'm not talking about that. People, if you work a full-time job, you should have money to pay your whatever your accommodations are, your utility bills. You should be able to buy food comfortably. You should be able to buy gas comfortably. You should be able to afford a car comfortably. You should be able to take a couple of vacations a year comfortably. Like that shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to struggle about how can I take my family on a vacation. No, that should be part of part of what happens with minimum wage. I don't care about your level of of education. I don't care about any of that. If you're working a full-time gig, you should be able to respectfully take care of yourself and or your family. Period. End of story. And that's not what's happening. However they figure that out, that's above my pay grade. Go ahead and sit in an office and do the numbers, crunch them, make sure they make sense. And people should also be able to have money left over for savings, for retirement, for all of that stuff. Because I feel like we get guilted into not saving, not planning for retirement. Y'all think a whole country just doesn't want to plan for retirement? Is that what politicians really think? You think that we don't want to be responsible? You think we don't want to plan for retirement? No, we cannot. We're trying to figure out day by day, week by week, month by month, and y'all are trying to guilt us into, listen, pay me. Pay me what I'm worth. Pay me my hours. I don't care. Education gets me extra. But everybody should be able to live and eat. And here's a side story. Y'all ain't not to this side story, but I was in a fast food establishment recently. I'm not going to say the name. I was in a fast food establishment. I was in there with the little one. We're the second people online. The first people online is a youthful couple. They look to be in their 20s. They have a baby in the stroller sleeping. The baby looks to be about perhaps 2.
Okay.
Young brown couple, young black melanated couple. I noticed that they're kind of, the female of the couple is kind of whispering to the cashier a little bit, kind of counting her money, ordering and then reordering. And the baby was with me and she's talking. And I said, hold on for a second, be quiet. I need to hear what's going on. And I hear them kind of doing this in a hushed tone. And I interpreted the body language as shame. That's what I thought I was witnessing. And so I said, and now I want to ask what's going on to see if I can offer some assistance, but I also don't want them to get rah-rah, right? I don't want to insult anybody. I don't want any problems. So I figured I'm going to direct my attention to the female of the partnership. Like, let me talk directly to her and see whatever happens. So I kind of, catch her attention and I'm like, excuse me, I just want to see if you guys are okay. And she explains to me that the two of them are trying to get, I can't say what the meal is, because if I say I'm gonna give away where I was, but they're trying to get meals for each of them for under $10. Can't do it, right? But they keep, and this dude, like the dude is, like he looked like he was over 6 feet tall, he's thin, and they're trying to get these little meals to kind of feed themselves, and they have this little baby. I don't know what the baby is eating and what the baby is not eating. And so I just said to them, I said, listen, get what, they had a $10, this might give it away too, I don't know. They had a $10 gift card to the establishment.
Okay.
I said, don't worry about it. Keep the gift card, get whatever you want, and I'll cover it. Now, I don't really got it like that. Let me be clear, podcasters. I don't really got it like that.
Dig it.
But that should never happen. I don't even know what their work situation is, but nobody in this country should be struggling to eat, ever, in my opinion. I'm gonna step off the podium now.
Listen, I appreciate that. That's definitely a rally for the troops, and definitely in addition to the side story, because in this day and age, you have to be apprehensive of how you approach a situation like that. For one, people are very prideful. You understand? Like you said, you got to know how to approach it. The guy could have been like, mind your business. You never know. But just the fact that, I'm assuming they allowed you to pay for it, did they?
They did allow me to pay for it. Okay. They were so grateful and so humble, and they were delightful people.
That's good. That's good. And just another point, when I mentioned the first question about the national minimum wage, I didn't even think about it being an average. That's a whole other train of thought that I didn't think about. I was just thinking about a number, this amount of dollars, that amount of dollars. So in keeping with that, just something I'll throw out since we're discussing it. whatever state in this country is that has the highest cost of living, they should base it on that, as opposed to whatever state it is that has the lowest, and then figure the averages based on that. I'm assuming it would be either New York or California, one of the two, and then just base that average on that. I'm sure, all these economists and accountants and everything would have some fun digging into that, figuring this all out. But I think that would help a whole lot of people. And this may have been something that some politician mentioned, but just never had the smarts to do it or even come to being. But I like that. That's a great train of thought, just being a national average. King Ja.
Yes, sir.
Same question for you in regards to minimum wage across the whole country. Should it be a national average? Are you in keeping with D1's thought about an average, or should it be an actual number or wage? What are your thoughts on that? Or if you have a side story about helping someone out at one of the fast food restaurants, then we figure it out. But we're gonna keep it low.
No, that was a very loving gesture. I like the humanity aspect of it. As human beings looking out for each other, having a sense of urgency to help when you sense that there's there's someone that's in despair, someone or some people who are in despair, and if you have the means or within your power to help someone out, by all means help them out. It's a sign of humanity, sign of human nature. So definitely commending D1 for doing that gesture. But we all know that's how the Empress is. You know what I mean? So that's nothing. It's nothing. We all
That's
know.
a setup, Jai. Don't make these people out here think I'm kind. Don't do
Nah,
that.
Please don't.
C1, watch it. Watch it, buddy.
No doubt, no doubt. Your 5 million male fans. I forget. They might DM you talking about D1. I'm saying, I got an investment idea. That's I got an investment idea.
Got an investment idea.
Gas station.
Gas station. No, but listen, my personal opinion, a specific number should be a specific wage should be established nationwide, because the whole thing about minimum wage according by state is a farce, because I can easily point out New York State. The minimum wage for New York State is at $15, I believe. But
yes.
But people who are working minimum wage can barely survive on that wage alone. To D1's point, New York State is a perfect example. You can't live off of $15. You can't sustain yourself off of $15 an hour. And what is the reason behind that? What would one argue? Again, like D1 said, is above my pay grade. I'm just speculating. How would one argue that? How would officials argue that? How would politicians and officials argue that a person working for $15 an hour and he or she could barely sustain himself or cannot sustain themselves, right? Can they can't do anything about it. Why? Because the cost of living is so high in New York City. It's so damn high. Apartments, what, a 1-bedroom apartment, a studio apartment is two racks.
2 racks.
Yeah.
You better try like 4 or 5.
I'm saying a bare minimum. An apartment in a, say, low income class.
Be careful. Oh, okay.
You saw him, right?
Okay.
I was like, come on,
I was
John.
watching it. What he was gonna say. And we both from them same parts in the same boat.
Yeah.
I was watching to see if he was gonna say it. I had my eye on him.
Yeah. I'm minding my words. I know where I'm from. I'm minding my words. But facts is facts. At minimum, it's $2K, $2,500, $3K, $4K, like you said.
Or even a studio.
And yeah, That's what I'm mentioning. Studio prices.
Yeah. Whew.
How can somebody working 15 an hour afford that? And to my point, what would be politicians or official or government officials or politicians or officials arguing about that? What? Because they're not educated enough? If they get an education, they can earn more. Well, guess what? Education costs. So where are we at now?
Mm.
Yep.
Okay, where are we at now? Because education costs. You get education, you get educated. How you gonna get the education unless you if you don't have a scholarship?
Yep.
How you gonna get the education? So what? You get run a credit line, get it on credit. But guess what? You get a credit line, you qualify, you get a credit line, you pay for your education. Guess what? You're $50,000 in debt.
Yep.
So it's a whirlwind. It's a big whirlwind. It's a farce. It's a racket. It's a hack job. You know what I mean? Straight up. This whole matrix thing that's created by the power elites. Uh-oh, let me watch my words again.
You already said it. You can't pull it back.
Yeah. I
Go
can't,
ahead. What you saying to thought, kid?
yeah. I can't. I can't turn it. Yeah, I can't pull it back now. It's already out there. This this financial hierarchical structure system created by the power elites is to keep us in a whirlwind, to keep the working class, um, the impoverished, to stay impoverished, the working class to struggle, to keep the working class in debt, and the impoverished and the impoverished. You know, the other thing in pertaining to strikes should not happen. Strikes should not be necessary, but unfortunately, it has to be done because the people eventually going to have to. Everybody has a boiling point, and the people have to stand up and say enough is enough. And mind you, when you strike a company, the companies have to, and this is why negotiations happen between companies and workers, because companies know that the the workers are the what's the word I'm looking for? If the company is the table, the workers are the legs of the table. If you don't have the legs of the table's going to collapse, and companies.
Facts.
But sometimes, and until, but if you don't say anything, companies going to keep on treating the legs of the table as if they don't exist. The legs are sturdy; they'll be there. Well, guess what? You keep on um, being that you keep on with that mentality, the legs are going to fold under you, and that's what happens. And sometimes the legs do need to fold under the table, so the table can understand. Look, uh-oh, we need these people, so let's
Yeah.
negotiate something. But the other thing about it is strikes have to occur because is capitalism breeds greed. Capitalism breeds greed.
1,000%.
Yeah, it breeds greed. And CEOs and COOs and CFOs get their bonuses, and they're so enthralled in getting their bonuses that they want to take the lion's share of the percentages of the profits of whatever the companies make through off the backs of the laborers and the workers and the sales and the management. They want to reap all the profits and really barely consider taking care of their workers. They give them the little sprinkles of whatever, um, throwing a dog a bone, so to speak, kind of thing. Like you once said, or what you said. One of you said 3% one year, 5% another
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
all in the span of a 10-year gap. You get a little pennies on the dollar in the raises that you barely can't see because it's going to get taxed anyway.
Yep.
So you're barely able to survive. And
So
yeah,
go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
yeah. So I just want to end it by saying strikes are necessary, although it shouldn't have to be, and because it's a whole this system is a racket job. It's a hack job, straight up.
And one of the things that are going on. So the CEO of Ford, don't quote me on this, and I'm definitely not speaking verbatim. but he makes somewhere around $40 million a year. Somewhere around there, 40, $45 million a year. So recently he just got a 40% raise. So one of the things that the workers that are with the UAW, United Auto Workers, that are striking. So it's 3 car companies that are striking. They're all together. They're all joined in this brotherhood for the strike. So it's Ford, it's General Motors, and it's Chrysler. Chrysler, better known as Stellantis. That's their name. That's who bought the company. So all 3 of them are striking. As the strike progresses, like I said, when we first opened up, it's supposed to get bigger. So recently, the CEO of Ford was on the news. He makes around $40 million. He just recently got a 40% raise. And the news reporter asked him, he said recently, he said, yeah, that's about how much I make. So he said, why would it be such a far stretch for these auto workers to make 40%, get a 40% raise as well? He was like, well, everybody can't make that amount because we be out of business. Now, keep in mind, he is beholden to the shareholders at the same time, right? Shareholders decide everything. He have to account for that. If the shareholders don't make money, he's fired, he's out of a job. Of course, he's gonna get this golden parachute, maybe 25, 30 million to live off of, but he's out of a job. So at the same time, it's a balancing act. Please, I'm not giving any credit to any of these CEOs who make these enormous amounts. So this $40 million, he's making that long as Ford is making money and the shareholders are making money. Now, 40% may not seem like a lot, but when you start to do the math based on the number of workers and employees, that may seem like a lot of money. But clearly, it took some time for it to get to this point, for them to decide, you know what, we're going to strike. This didn't just happen overnight. Why I can't just decide I want to get a 40% raise? I can't do that. You understand? So these are some of the things that people think about and they speak about and they strike about. They speak to their shop steward about. They speak to their family about. Now, I'm sure it's a hardship for every single one of them that may be striking right now. Could you imagine the sacrifice it takes? Now, you're already working, you understand? And you're not making enough to where you can sustain your livelihood and all the things that D1 mentioned that you want to do and all the bills and the loans you may need to pay back from your education job. You're already working, so you go out on the limb. You leap of faith, you know what? I'm going to strike. Now, I don't know how it's set up per job, but you definitely getting less money than when you were working full time. So this is how ingrained you are with this effort, with everybody else to say, you know what, enough is enough. Effort. I'm going to strike. So that says a lot, man. And like you said, it shouldn't happen, but it's happening. And just one thing before I move on to the next point, Ja. I know D1 said it should be an average. You said it should be a wage. What do you think the wage should be across the country?
25,
If there was, what you think the wage should be? 25?
25 an hour.
You said 25, right?
25 an hour.
Okay. Okay. I kind of thought that going in. I think 25 would be a safe amount to start with. And then every year it should go up. I really do. I really do. I mean, I don't think it should go up by $25 per year, but it should definitely go up either by $10, $5, something like that. But every year it should go up if it was a national average. So the next point that I'm going to move on to, we'll start with you, Joe. I'm gonna swing around to this. Like when I started, a lot has been said about this American dream. I know you said a couple of things about all this being a farce. So it may be defined different from person to person. So I'll pose it like this. What is the American dream to you?
American, that's a good question. The American dream to me is sustainability. However anyone can sustain themselves. I mean, I'm just really siphoning off D1's point because what D1 said in her dialogue was enough said. I mean, she hit all senators on what this topic and the situation of striking is about. You know, in terms of working and sustainability and survival. I mean, we should not. This country is a world power still. It may not be the first world power as it used to, but it's still top 5 world power. There should not be people impoverished. There should not be people that are homeless. How is that happening? How does that work? So that's always mind-boggling me. No one should be homeless in this country. No one. You know, especially with the businesses that we're doing with other countries and other world powers. No one should be homeless in this country. But to your question, the American dream for me is sustainability, mental freedom, meaning not being stressed about anything, stressed about work, stressed about commuting, stressed about how you're going to pay your next bill, stressed about living check to check. Again, I'm just branching off what D wants.
Yeah.
Being the American dream is the ability to save, the ability to retire, save money, to accumulate money to retire. I mean, if we're all going to be partaking in this matrix and in this concept of capitalism, we all should benefit from it. Every single last person that live in this country. How many people in America? 400 million?
Sure, little short
Right?
of 400 million. They say about 360 million,
350?
roughly.
Yeah,
give or take.
every single last person. Let's say give or take. Let's say give or take 100 million are children. So every single last person, 250 million of us should be able to at least sustain ourselves and live comfortably. Live comfortably. I'll say it like that. Live comfortably. You know, some of us can be financially abundant, rich, and then if you want to keep your class, fine. But everyone should be living comfortably. Everyone. There's no excuse for it. So that's my opinion of the American dream. How they sell, but how they sell it to us is a farce.
Yeah. No white picket fence
Not for everyone.
and the dog,
Yeah.
2.5 kids.
I mean, it's ideal for some people, but for some, well, for me personally, it's really about sustainability, mental freedom, stress free, and having just feeling light,
I like that. I like that. D1.
I like it too.
He said he want to feel light. I like that. That sound like some high science, to feel light, like almost like you could float. You know, when I hear that word, that sound like he said, you stress free. You just feel light. Because burdens weigh you down. That's weight that weigh on you. So, you know, you feel heavy, but to feel light, I like how you ended that, job. I'm gonna use that going forward. D1, same question for you. What is the American dream to you? How would you define that for D1?
Yeah, I like feeling light. I like that. I mean, I feel like we just gonna bounce back and forth a little bit here because um, what I thought the American dream was opportunity, innovation, setting an example for the world. I thought the American dream was a source of pride. I thought the American dream was about anybody can do anything. If you work, you can get it. Whatever the it is, you can accomplish it. And you can also have some vacation, right? I remember it seemed like watching TV, well, some TV shows, not good times, but not good times and not what's happening. Not TV shows with our folks.
Now, Good Times always happening. Two of the best shows.
No, but maybe the Jeffersons, maybe the Jeffersons.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Now
it
we
was,
up in the big leagues.
yeah, we up in the big leagues. But it felt like if you were focused and work hard, you can achieve.
Mm.
Um, and I thought that that was part of the American dream. I thought that the American dream, I did growing up, I did think it was possible to have a house with a white picket fence, a dog, and 2.5 kids was weird. I was like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do the half, but you
Half
know,
of the baby.
but I did think it was possible. And now I do think it is a farce. I think that we were
Mm.
sold
Mm.
that image so that we could work harder and that, keep working. You just didn't work hard enough yet. You didn't get there yet. Um, but I think based on some of the numbers that I'm hearing you brothers spit out, it feels like every American can be a millionaire and there would still be money left over. If we
Mm.
take money from the millionaires and the billionaires in this country and disseminate it, we could take money from one billionaire probably,
Woo.
right? And
From the
there's no
1%.
reason. This is just greed at this point. So
Mm.
now it seems like American values are based on greed. And I don't like that. So if I had to define the American dream, if I had to reimagine the American dream, it would be something around levity. It would be something around balance. It would be something around freedom and abundance and humanity, showing up for each other. What does it look like to take our resources, grow them, magnify them, multiply them for the purpose of ourselves and the world, a communal experience? If I had to reimagine the American dream, as opposed to this individualized experience where some of us get to, we get to be on social media and watch, a certain percentage of the world hop around on yachts and exotic vacations and New York Fashion Week with, outfits that cost more than what some people make in 2 or 3 months. Why? Like, we don't need that. We don't need
Mm.
that. The American dream would be different. It would be something that feeds the soul more so than feeding materialistic needs.
Mhm.
Listen, D1, thank you for that. I'm gonna touch on that too before I move on to the next point in regards to that. As far as the American dream, like you said, we've been fed this for a very long time, ever since we was young. What the American dream look like, what it is that you're supposed to do, and so many different traps and things that you could get into. I think Josh spoke about credit. Uh, that's one of those things. Or loans. Once you get into that, you headed down some rabbit hole in regards to loans, man. People paying back student loans and all these things that they needed to do, $100,000, $150,000 when you're done with school, and then you have a job where you only making maybe $45,000 a year. So it's designed for you to never ever pay that loan back. Now, these are some of the things that make people want to strike. So for the most part, I don't think people are saying that, damn, I don't want to pay it back. They just want to have enough money to be able to pay it back. After you've already gotten an education, let me get an opportunity to do that. Now, everybody's not going to make as much money as the CEO. Everybody on the job can't make 40 million or $30 million. I get that. I got that. You understand? But it need to be opportunities in place there where you can make more than you want to. Maybe it's opportunities there for you to get overtime. Maybe it's opportunity there for you to grow. Maybe promotion. Maybe that education could move you on a fast track up into the executive suites. You understand? Now, this is all definitive based on the job and the reason why people strike. I can't speak for every single job, but there are certain things that people just need to have in order for them to strike. And one of the things I had mentioned to someone, I said, on no job that you ever have in your life will you ever be paid what you are worth, because your worth is priceless. It's what it is that you feel you will settle for at the time. You understand? Now, maybe that job won't keep pace with the cost of living. But what people have to do now, people are moving from state to state. I know a number of people, and I'm sure both of you might be like, you know what? We need to move. Some people are moving out west. I don't know too many people that maybe moving south, or some people are, but most of the people they moving west. A lot of the people in the country, based on the survey and poll, they moving out to Texas. Texas is popping right now. And this is all due to cost of living. You understand what Josh said? Some of these studios, $2,000, $3,000 just for the studio. You're making $40,000, $50,000, definitely $15 an hour. You can't cover that. So they have affordable housing here. But it's a lottery with a lot of people in the lottery. You think you're just going to get that affordable housing the first time? Again, like I said, it is a lottery. You got to fill out so many different forms and applications for you to get picked. Maybe at some point they'll call you, but in the interim with that $15 an hour job, you're still waiting. So side story, same thing in keeping with D1 and her big heart. So I was in the store before, went into the bodega to buy some water. Saw these two young girls at the counter, same conversation they was having, but they had a couple of dollars in their hand. So the guy at the counter, he keeps saying next, motioning for me to come forward, but I didn't come forward because the young ladies were still there. They figuring out their bread. So again, so same thing that D1 to say. I says the same thing. I was like, excuse me, young ladies, pardon me. You gonna, you got that? And they just look, they seem a bit embarrassed between the two of them. They say like, nah, we ain't got it. And then it's like, nah, you go ahead. So I went and paid for the water, but before I left, I was like, can you take care of that? And they was like, nah. I said, don't worry, I got it. So based on what was on the counter, I didn't anticipate it costing as much as it did. Did I have it? Sure I did, but I didn't anticipate it costing as much because it didn't look like much. I thought it was a little $5, $10 or something like that. So I was like, I got it. Oh my God, thank you, mister. Thank you so much. Grabbed the bag and skipped, right? It was in a black bag. You know them small black bags they give in a bodega. So I was like, what we got, man? How much was that? He was like, oh man, I was $28. $28. I don't know what they bought, but the bag was so small. It was one bag. I'm like, damn, what? So now I'm on the hook. I can't just skip. I was getting ready to call them girls back, but you can't do that. Big heart is a big heart. So I gave them the money. I paid for it, and I got up out of there.
And Dude laughed at you. Dude was like, they got you.
It got me.
They got $28 of chips in that bag.
It may have been, but in my heart, I would like to think, whatever it is that they needed that for, or whoever it is that needed to be fed, that was done. You understand? That was done. So, like Josh said, this is just being a humanitarian. Am I going to do that all the time? Absolutely not. But, it all depends on when the mood hits you to decide to do something like that. And the place that is coming from when you do something like that. So another thing I want to ask, so, of course, there's a strike. Of course, there's a picket line, right? Yeah. And if there's a picket line, it's going to be people out there chanting, right? So normally the chants we would hear, this is not in keeping with strikes. Normally the chants we hear for the last number of years is in keeping with justice or injustice. And what we hear, no justice, no peace.
No
right?
peace.
We all know that by heart.
Yeah.
That's a mantra at this point.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything in keeping with a strike that people say, for the most part, that's, across the country, people say. So
I got one.
I'll start with you, D1. So two things. The first thing is, what would your picket sign say? if you could design, I'm sorry, what would your what would your picket sign say? If you could design your picket sign, what would it say? No colorful language. Well, why not? If you want. And two, what would the chant be?
What would my picket sign say? Let me come back to that one. I don't know.
All
I
right, it's
gotta think
cool. It's
about that.
cool. It's
Gotta think
cool. Take
about
your
that.
time.
My chant would be, it would be so good. It'd be
Uh-oh.
so good.
Uh-oh. Drum roll. Drum roll.
Drum roll. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. That is my chant. No Roger, no rerun, no rent.
Hey, right?
There you go. There's my sign. My sign would go, hey. Clearly, I'm going to be picking it for a while because people are going to be like, what is she doing? Why is she picking it? What are we supposed to do?
No Roger, no rerun, no rent.
Roger, no rerun, no rent. Okay.
Listen,
That's what's up.
you need that bread to get that rent paid. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. I'm with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's all I got for you. Hey, no Roger, no rerun, no rent.
You want me to swing back after I speak to Ja and get what your picket sign would say? You want me to swing back to you?
Those are my answers. My picket sign is going to say, hey. Why are you judging my picket sign?
Wait. So your picket sign. wait. So listen. Let me set this up. So mind you, it's a strike, right? And you know what strike brings reporters. And if reporters come, the channels here, the 2, 4, 7, CNN, all the major players, they're there at this strike.
Right.
Every day is some different reporters. And then we have some international correspondents coming from overseas to support the strike, get your take on it, because, butterfly effect. It may affect someone else at some point in another country. So they coming to you. We got a reporter from Venezuela.
Right.
He came up to you, hey, listen, I see you, this is your picket sign. What does it say and what does it supposed to mean? Right? Now you're speaking to a Venezuelan audience that may not have ever seen what's happening. But your picket sign say, hey. And they hear people chanting, no Roger, no rerun, no rent. You understand that?
The universal cry of Black power. That's it. That is it. All right. So how about this? I have another idea. I'm still doing no Roger, no rerun, no rent. You're not going to get me to stop doing that. That's it.
No. I don't want you to change it. I was just asking you to explain it to the layman.
Right. Black power. So I'm going to have 2 picket signs. One side it's going to be one picket sign with 2 sides because I'm not carrying 2 picket signs because they're too heavy. So one side is gonna say, hey, and the other side is gonna say, ain't no stopping us now. I know how much you love that song. There we go. Hey, come on now. And I'm gonna have a boombox on my shoulder. Hey, it's a party. If I gotta be outside and I'm walking the line, why not have a party? We gonna line dance. We don't need to be downtrodden. We doing the whole thing. Let's go.
Nah, I'm with that. DY, I appreciate that. Ain't no stopping us now. Hey, ain't no stopping us now. But still the same chant. No Roger, no Roger, no rerun, no rent.
What chant you know better than that one? I don't know one.
Sound like that's the best one right now.
No,
Let's see what King Ja got.
I think international reporters will come around for that.
Yo, they come. Believe that's facts.
Hey.
Believe that's facts. You know they come. You know it's gonna be on TMZ. You already know.
Wait, is John doing a French accent though? Is that what that was? That was like a little bit French Jamaican.
International reporting.
French Jamaican. Oh,
You know,
God.
John's roots gotta come out. He gotta,
It done came out, right?
he gotta put some patois on it.
King Ja.
Yeah, my
King
picket,
Ja.
picket sign.
Same question. What
Mhm.
would your picket sign say?
Uh,
And what is the chant to stir up the crowd? What's the chant? You got the bullhorn.
yeah,
What's your picket sign gonna say? And
picket sign.
what's the chant?
Oh, my picket sign is simple. It's gonna be, you can hate me now, but I won't
Hey,
stop now.
Okay,
You can
okay.
hate me now,
That's on the picket
but
sign.
I won't stop
that's
now.
now.
That's on the picket sign.
No doubt, no
What's
doubt.
the chant? What's the chant? What's the chant?
The same as the picket sign
Same chant. You can hate me now.
on the bullhorn.
Listen, and that would be easy to follow.
You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's it.
I'm here
You
for
can
it.
hate
I'm not,
me
I'm
now,
not passing
but I
that
won't
picket
stop
line.
now.
Listen, same question. So my picket sign would
Mhm.
say, "Why not us?" Bold,
Mm,
white backboard, white background, all black letters, all bold. Why not us? Question marks.
mm.
The chant is gonna be, "Don't start no shit, won't be no shit." Simple. The Young Bloods, you know that song.
Yeah, yeah, I know that
Don't
song. Yeah,
start
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Simple as
Uh-huh,
that. Don't
uh-huh.
start no shit, won't be no shit. You already know that'll get people riled up.
That song get you hyped though.
That
That's
you
definitely a get hype song.
striking.
That's
Now
definitely a
keep
get
in
hype song.
mind, you gotta rally the troops
Mhm.
because strikes are not contingent on the weather.
Yeah,
Now every day ain't gonna be sunny 75, 80 degrees. Some days it's gonna rain, some days it's gonna snow, some days it's gonna be hot.
so
So I need something to keep the troops. You understand? I got to keep up their momentum.
mhm,
Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. That's gonna keep up their momentum,
yeah.
That's
right?
what's up.
With,
I
with,
like
little-
that.
with little
I'm a
John, with
run with
little John on a bullhorn.
that.
Little John on a
if if
bullhorn.
if we could do it,
You know what I'm saying? What?
listen.
Okay.
You know what? Okay.
What?
What?
What? Yeah, you definitely got to use that what.
Yeah, yeah.
You definitely got to use that what.
Yeah.
So one of the things, this is the last point I'm gonna mention in keeping with the strike topic.
Mhm,
I mean, and this has definitely been very thoughtful. Definitely what you guys are saying is definitely food for thought, something to think about. Those of you that watch, please, this may be something you may be going through right now and keeping with your strike, whatever it is you're striking for. I support you. Get what you need and keeping with your definition of
mhm,
the American dream and what it looked like for you, or in keeping with just your dream. It may not necessarily be the American dream.
mhm,
So one of the things that's currently going on right now, and this is something that's on the table in keeping with, may not necessarily be a strike, but just something that people put on the table might be a prerequisite for those of this generation per se, because it appears as if this generation wants a whole lot more from an employer as opposed to when we were in our 20s and 30s and we were hunting for jobs. Back when you actually had to get the newspaper and look
mhm,
at the ads in the back of the newspaper and rip it out and take that with you, where you had to walk around with a resume and you had the paper clips. And oh my God, I remember those
Mm-hmm.
days having sore feet going from job to job.
mhm,
When you just ready to rip that tie off. um, yeah, I remember those days, man. Bring back a lot of memory. But as of now, it seems like one of the prerequisites for this generation is them to be able to work from home.
mhm,
Let's just assume for conversation's sake that we're all unemployed. Every single one of us. So we all going through all these one ads online right now. Just for conversation's sake to get your take on it, is that a prereq for either one of you to be able to work from home, or it doesn't matter at all? I'll start with me first. For me, it wouldn't matter to me if the company said they don't have any telework per se. Because I enjoy the commute depending upon whether it's not me taking public transportation or it's me driving. So that wouldn't be a prerequisite for me, nor would it be a deal breaker for me to be able to do so. I will be looking more so as how soon can I move up this corporate ladder, so to speak? How does the raises look like? How much do they contribute to my 401k and different things like that, as opposed to being able to work from home? But that's a big deal right now. Say you, D1, in regards to that, then King Ja, I'll swing to you.
Sir Mark, I'm a Black woman in America.
As shown.
I spent a lifetime working from home for kids, for family. I'm going on strike, by the way.
Wow.
From kids and family. I've gone on
You from kids and family, not from the establishment. She said from
not from the establishment, from kids and family, from I've decided to cross my legs for a period of time. I've gone on those types of strikes. No, this is not available.
Whoa. Whoa.
I've done that from my significant other, for sure. I have when my older kids were younger, I walked out the door and I'm like, mommy quits, mommy's out, and I've left because I felt like, I remember what your definition of a strike said, C1, but I think you said something like, wanting something from your employer. I felt like they were my captors, and I went on strike for my freedom. So working from home is not a prerequisite for me. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't even know if I answered the question, but you triggered me.
You did. You answered it. You
Okay.
did answer it. I mean,
Okay,
you throw in the mom strike. That would be a whole other topic. Guaranteed.
I'm going on several strikes in my life.
We never had the topic. You understand? When we had people call in, we had the topic of mom strike. Guarantee the phones will be flooded. Guaranteed.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
And then the next week, right after that, we have the topic of a dad strike. We probably get like 2 phone calls.
Dads don't go on strike? That's not a thing?
What? What? You mother, you gonna what? You know I held this for not. You wanna what? Come on, stop.
Yeah, you already know that ain't happening.
You already. Come on now.
Y'all, you know what? Y'all don't work hard enough to go on strike. Y'all better sit your little tails down.
You see this? You see this?
Right? There you go. There you go.
You see this?
See, you already know the response.
Case in point.
You already know the response. Yep.
Case in point.
There you go.
That's it. Oh, well.
King Ja, let's get back on track, because that turned into a whole other topic with the dad strike.
Put that on your list of topics.
I'm right. Believe I'm writing that down. Dad strike. That's gonna be very interesting. You understand? And I'm sure I could find a dude that walked out. I'm gonna bring him on as one of the guests.
There you go.
And the first thing he gonna say is, I did the dad strike because my wife wouldn't give me none. Hey.
You can't. That's not a reason to take a dad strike. You could take a partner strike or a husband strike.
You can strike for whatever reason he wants.
What? Nah, get out of here. That's not in the rules.
How you gonna make up the rules?
Easy.
Make up the rules?
Easy. Because even with striking, there's a rule book. Like the union has a set of there's a set of conditions under which the union can go under strike. I've been on strike before.
What's the bylaws of the mom union?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. If I tell you, I gotta kill you.
We're gonna swing back.
Yeah,
King Ja,
we got our own. It's all right. We got our own.
King Ja. I know our time is coming to a close very, very soon.
Yeah.
King Ja,
Yes, sir.
prerequisite work from home. Is it a must, or is this something you could do without?
Working from home is actually a goal of mine. Yeah, because I think that's kind of like a pathway to freedom, so to speak. Because I'm still at home and I can, do what I need to do for the family, interact with my kid, and do what I need to do after I finish work because I'm right there. Um, whatever I want to engage in, whether it be exercise, creating something, working on this, or whatever the case may be. I don't have to commute. I don't have to make the commute or anything. I'm right here. So if I want to go out for air, take a walk, take a break take my lunch break, I can take a walk, go out for fresh air, and then come back in the crib and finish what I need to do. Yeah, so work from home is goals. Working remote is goals. Yes.
So that's something that would need to be on the table for you. Let's say you were job search, that was something that would need to be on the table, or something that would lure you into that particular employer.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So listen, I know we about to wrap up soon. Allow me to thank you both. This is very thoughtful and intense topic. As much as we made light of it and took it very seriously at the same time, that's just the beauty of what we do and me talking to you guys. I don't take this for granted at all, and I truly enjoy it. It could be the most serious situations. We could make light of it, and then the opinion that come right after that may be something so heavy. It's something you really got to think about and just make you scratch your head and be like, wow, no matter what the situation is. And we're going to have more than enough things to talk about, to speak on. But this should just allow me to say thank you both. And thank you both for this topic. Those of you that may or may not be striking, maybe some of the things that we mentioned may come to fruition. Maybe the Senate and Congress and all those in charge, so to speak, may actually say it should be a national average, or it should be a national minimum wage that should just move up with the cost of living. Whatever it is you're going through, I pray you keep the faith and keep it with that strike, and you get what you want. 92.6 The Spot, NRNW, not right, not wrong. Queen D1. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. King Ja.
Hey.
The building.
Hey.
But you could hate him now. Don't do it.
But I won't stop
If only you knew. If only you knew that Doc does too. We out.
We out of here.
Peace.
Salute to all the workers and the laborers. You dig?
Yes, we support you.